My old people them raise me, My grandparents them raise me. Them have a thing where them say time is longer than rope. Yes, my friend. And then me get big on come here another thing that says the streets don't forget. All right. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. A lot of people been asking me to talk about this former Jamaica cop who was gunned down recently at a car wash somewhere in Jamaica. We're going to get the details together. I can tell you right now that I was waiting for more to come out. For those of you who stay on SouFLoTV, you know how me do my thing already. I don't go around making stuff up. It has to be published by a credible entity that is very large with a lot to lose. That way, we know that the information is vetted and verified. You understand? Okay. And there is some meat on the bones of this. So listen up. All right. People been saying SouFLo. The first thing I heard was somebody linked me and said, SouFLo, listen, this youth here, I know nobody nice. Him boxed down a girl at a party and shots were fired at the party and all kind of something. And him get him gun take away and then him fly out of the country and they were looking for him. And the girl's family said it's just a matter of time, but they're going to make him pay. Now, I don't know how true this is. I wasn't there. That's what I was told first. That's why I started digging into the story. So the first headlines come out in the news. Shout out to Jamaica Observer. And the first headline says, St. Catherine, Jamaica. A former member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force was shot to death in Caymanas Gardens, St. Catherine on Monday night. The deceased has now been identified as 33-year-old Donovan McLean of Hotline Avenue, Caymanas Gardens. Reports reaching Observer Online are that McLean was among a group of people at a car wash about 10:25 p.m. when a white Toyota Axio motor car drove up. 10:25 p.m. We're talking about late night. You know, my granny used to say nothing no good no outer road after certain hours, right? All right. People are asking what's he doing out there at 10:25. Listen, Jamaica is like that, all right? In a Trinidad, them say liming. In Jamaica, we just a chill. We are bill of vibes with the brethren them. So we probably outside, have a couple of drinks, play some domino, beat up the domino table and these kind of things, and just chilling. Pana ends. That's what we do, right? So he doesn't have to be involved in anything really. A lot of people are asking other questions too. Like at 33 years old, that's pretty young to have been an ex-cop. Why did he leave the force? Was he kicked out of the force? Was he involved in something that the force decided to put him out? All right, we're going to get into all that story in a minute, so just stick around, right? So far we know, according to the news, that he was chilling at a car wash with a couple of brethren when a white Toyota Axio motor car just drove up. 3 men reportedly alighted from the vehicle armed with handguns and them just opened fire, pepper up the place before making their escape. The police were called, and when the police arrived, they saw McLean, and he had been suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the upper parts of his body. He was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 other men were also injured in that same attack, and they are being treated at the hospital. One of the other men, when this first happened, people were saying him not gonna make it, He's not gonna make it because he's in a serious condition, while the other one was in stable condition. That was the first reports. All right, then we fast forward because we were waiting and we wanted more to the story. And here is the more to the story. Shout out to the Jamaica Observer again. Pause for a minute. Let me say this. A lot of people don't have time nowadays to sit down and read through newspaper articles. One time gone, the newspaper used to be physical, like you hold a newspaper in your hand and read it like a book. Now the newspaper is online. But people busy. People are work 2 and 3 job. People running here and there. And people just really prefer to go to their favorite stations, their favorite YouTube channel. One that is credible. One that they know is giving them what they are missing out. Like I said before, we don't put no spin on no stories over here. We bring it to you raw, just as it is reported. So if you haven't done this already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. More importantly, click that bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. We follow these stories all the way through to the end, from the incident happened, to the investigation, to when somebody is caught, to when it goes to court, to how much time they will serve behind bars, or if they beat the case, and so on and so forth. All right, so click the subscribe button and click the bell next to the subscribe button. All right, back to the story now. So shout out again to the Jamaica Observer. This one says, relatives of the murdered ex-policeman Donovan McLean claimed on Tuesday that he was like a sitting duck because his licensed firearm had been taken away from him last year, but he was fighting to get it back. All right, so the FLA, which is the firearms licensing authorities, had removed his firearm from him. You know, sometimes an incident might go down and they decide, hey, we don't know, we'll take away your firearm for now, pending investigation, and then we'll give you your firearm back. Some people don't ever get their firearms taken away. That's just how the thing go. Okay, there's another part of this that says that he served for over a decade, or about a decade. And I have spoke to my audience about this before, and about how small Jamaica is, and about how dangerous it really is to be a police. Let's get into this. So this one says that McLean, who was 33 years old at time of his passing, he was among a group of people that were gambling at a car wash in Caymanas Gardens, Portmore, St. Catherine on Monday night, close to 10:30 p.m. Now, when a motor car drove up and three men armed with guns came out of that vehicle and opened fire in the direction of McLean, as if that is who they came for. He was shot multiple times and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. At least one other man was shot and injured in the incident. We know from before that it was two other men that were shot. One was in serious condition and one was in stable condition. There was an update that says, sources says that the man that was in serious condition was out of intensive care at the hospital on Tuesday afternoon. So that's a good update, right? McLean's relatives now, the ex-policeman, his relatives believed that he would have had a fighting chance if he still had his licensed firearm returned to him. Because I saw the comments online and somebody said, wait, in my ex-police, me sure him did have a licensed firearm. And another person said, yeah, but here what? Gun in a hand, different from gun in a waist. And people keep going on and on about, but he's a police officer, so he was trained. So it only take him 1 second for draw him gun and fire back and all these things. You know, I don't know how to explain this to you, but civilians are people who have never been in that quick draw and fire situation. In their mind, it's just that easy to do. But let me tell you something. When the enemy or the threat rolls upon you and their guns are already out and blazing, you probably don't stand a chance unless you do something that we call in the army run, dive, jump, skip, roll, monkey, cheetah flips. You do everything to not get shot. And in the meantime, if you have a gun on you, you secure a position where you can fire back on the threat from that position. Now, him didn't have a gun on him. Obviously, wasn't carrying an illegal gun on him either. A sitting duck. This is what I tell people all the time about majority of the people in Jamaica. They are sitting ducks. Okay, especially law enforcement officials. You have some police officers in Jamaica, you know, who carry a gun at work when they wear their uniform. They are expected to leave their service firearms at work when they go home. Now, this man is just walking out in the middle of the road with no gun for the rest of the day. Well, guess what? 2 or 3 men that you encountered during the day where you had to lay the law down and them feel like, move, dirty police, boy. All right, wait till we catch you around here, so. Guess what? You live in the same area they live in. You live somewhere close to there or you work there every day. You live on the same little island of Jamaica. So it's nothing for them to catch you off guard, catch you with no protection for yourself. One of the main things I believe is that every law enforcement official should actually have a licensed firearm outside of their service pistol. I'm just saying, it makes perfect sense, especially in a country. Come on now, people. We are at 655 murders as of June 30th. From January to June 30th, over 655 Jamaicans were murdered. We had 27 murders in the last 5 days, last time me check. So the place is running red. This is not the kind of place you want to be caught without a gun, especially if you are one of them people here who used to be outside having to lay the law down. It comes with the job. So yes, it's very dangerous to be a police officer in Jamaica. And yes, it's very easy to lose your life being a police officer in Jamaica. Some people say, SouFlo, this could explain why some police officers operate outside of the law, because them have to balance the thing. Them have to make bad man feel like, say, they're on their side, and at the same time they have to make the citizens feel like they're there to serve and protect, right? I've told people this before. If a police officer bad up anybody or just simply does his job and lay the law down and people don't like him, it's easy for a gunman, a real killer, to say, hey boy, me know which part your wife work. Me know where your house there, you know. Me watch you go home every day from work, you know. These people don't live on another island. They don't go to the sky after work. They come back into the communities. Me know where your picnic them go to school in a youth. Me know where your mother live in a. I want y'all to really, really think about this, right? And somebody probably was trailing him. We don't know. I can't swear for anybody. I don't know what he got into after he got out of the police force. But you can't swear for anybody. But at the same time, let's say he was living clean, right? Okay. Somebody from when he was a police officer was probably trailing him and could have been like, yo, see the dirty police boy there, you know, con him up, you know? Okay. All right. So they said that this is what his family said. His family is saying that he would have at least had a fighting chance if his firearm had been returned to him. They said that he was absolved of an alleged incident which occurred at a party during which guns had been fired. He was supposed to get a lawyer to represent him to try to get it back, said one of his relatives, according to the Jamaica Observer. How can a member serve the police force for 10 years and you take his weapon, didn't find anything on it, and you don't reach out to tell him why you still keeping his weapon? They have his gun, and they've had his gun for almost a year now. He served the force in a volatile area in Kingston East, is what the relatives said. So basically, he was in gunman territory, gangster area, doing his job. I'm sure he might have stepped on a few corns or two. If you doing your job in certain areas and you not step on no corn, you're probably not doing your job properly, or you're probably in cahoots with the gangsters in that area. It's either or either. It can't be anything else. See? All right. And like my granny said, time longer than rope. And like the streets says, the streets does not forget. Now, another one says, quote unquote, if he had had his weapon, he could at least fight back. They took it away based on some allegations at a party where they said there were some explosions. They claimed that it was him that did it. However, when they made some checks on the scenes, the bullets or the casings for bullets that were found at the scene did not match his weapon. There is no witness on that case. Someone even came and made checks, and still they didn't give it back to him. The person who came to us said that there was nothing to implicate him. No one called him, but he called the police several times to get an update about the investigation and about getting his weapon back. Obviously, he knew that he was a sitting duck being out here without a weapon. And also, obviously, he was trying to abide by the law, because he wasn't one of those people that said, well, them take away my licensed firearm, so I'm going to go get an illegal one because I would prefer to have it and don't need it than to run into a situation with it and need it and don't have it. That's where a lot of people are stuck. The FLA in Jamaica, they go through the rigmaroles to give you a license to carry your firearm. And it can be taken away pretty easily, but it's actually really even hard to get unless you are connected to certain people. You know, the bigger heads them, their family members, people that come from a certain upper echelon family that bear certain names. If you come from, I would say, even middle class family, your parents are people that own land and stores and these kind of things, it's probably easier for you to get a firearm than if you have a decent amount of money to put down. I should say an exorbitant amount of money to put down or give somebody to put in a them pocket. Then you can definitely get your firearms. But it comes down to this for most people. People have applied, they've been rejected. And I've been told that once you are rejected, you have to wait. Say I apply for my firearm license in Jamaica. I'm told that you have to wait a year after you are rejected to even apply again. And then the second time you have to wait 2 years. I don't know how true that is, but that don't make no sense at all. So you think if I'm living in a volatile area, or if my job required me at any point to be some police officer out a road functioning in a volatile area where me know gangsters roam and I've been stepping on toes, when I decide to leave the force, I don't want to be sitting out with no firearm to protect myself. And I don't plan to be locking myself up in my house 24/7, 365 because I'm scared to sit outside, catch some cool breeze, and play a couple of games of dominoes with my brethren them. I would probably arm myself with something that did not come approved by the FLA. But guess what? They made a law now that says if you are caught with that, then you're looking at 15 years minimum in prison. So it's basically be a sitting duck, don't protect yourself, and wait to be killed by gunmen or wait to be approved by the FLA. And hey, we might not approve you. And if we don't, continue being a sitting duck until somebody come and spray gunshots after you and we wish you the best. Listen to those options. This brother did not have no criminal record. He was not involved in anything that they can say on the record why, he deserves to not have a gun. Anyhow, that's the gist of the story right there, and it's a sad ending to a young life, once again, under circumstances where, I don't know, might have been prevented. I even go as far as to think outside the box, and I think this is somebody that knew that he was no longer carrying his firearm. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. My condolences goes out to his family, his surviving friends and family members. It's never easy losing a family member, but when they're old and they're sick and that, then we can say, yeah, mama and grandpa live a long life and God go with them and these things. They're in a better place now. But when you're young and fit and healthy and you're taken out in this manner, it's always tragedy on top of tragedy on top of tragedy. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.